So our next panel focuses on development impact from the point of view of our investees. Here at BII, we always remember that we don't create development impact. Rather, it's the businesses that we invest in that create that impact. And today on our panel, I'm joined by the leaders of 3 businesses who will talk about their companies and the impact that they're having. So I'm joined today by Chanda Katongo, who is the head of client solutions at the Zambia National Commercial Bank, or Zanaco. Welcome, Chanda. I'm joined by Tosin Eniolorunda, who is the founder and CEO of Moniepoint, which is a fintech platform aimed at African SMEs. And I think in 2023, Moniepoint was the second fastest growing company in all of Africa, so quite an achievement. And I'm joined by Shashi Kumar, who is the co-founder and CEO of Akshayakalpa, which is India's first organic milk company. And it aims at increasing the wealth of sustainable farming and of small farmers. So welcome, all of you. My first question, if I may, is to you, Chanda. I mean, Zanaco is one of Zambia's leading banks. And I'd be curious to hear a little bit about the company and about what your mission is.
Thank you, and thank you for having us as Zanaco. My CEO, Mukwandi would have loved to be here. Unfortunately, she's attending an in-person event, and it has taken longer than we anticipated, but we are excited to be here and to be part of this panel. So maybe just to give you a little bit of insight on Zanaco and who we are. So we are a homegrown bank in Zambia. We were established by the government of Zambia in 1969. And the main aim of our establishment was to cater for the financial requirements of the Zambian economy. In 2006, we went through a privatization process, and we're now owned by an investment company called Arise BV, and they sit with a stake of just under 50%. And the rest of us is owned by the Zambian government under the Industrial Development Corporation, that's the IDC, which has 25% of Zanaco. And the rest is free float on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. So over the last 54 years, we have made significant progress in establishing ourselves as a prominent financial institution in Zambia. And we've actually earned the title as the People's Bank. And that's because we cater for the average Zambian, and not just the businesses, but the individuals as well. So our dedication is to foster the growth of our employees, our communities, our businesses, and our country as a whole. So we're pretty much driving the growth of the Zambian economy. We're also the biggest bank in Zambia, the largest bank in Zambia in terms of balance sheet, profitability, footprint. We are across all 10 provinces of the country. And yeah, that's pretty much who we are. We are proud to be one of Zambia's leading commercial banks with a very strong record in terms of generating revenue and profitability. Our extension in terms of our branch network spans across the entire country. We've got 62 branches and we've got 30,000 agents. I'll speak to that later on as we go along. So our commitment is to providing support to various sectors in the country. We've got key growth economic sectors, and these are mining, energy, agriculture, tourism, trade, and SMEs. So SMEs for us is very, very critical, and not only for Zanaco, but for the country as a whole. As a bank, we have prioritized SMEs, and we continue to do that. In Zambia alone, just to give you a few statistics, SMEs make up 90% of all businesses in the country, and they pretty much cater for 80% of the working population in Zambia. So this is a very, very vital sector for us, and it's pretty much driving the economic growth in the country.
Thanks a lot, Chanda. And could you perhaps talk a little bit about the partnership that you've had with BII and how we work with you to sort of achieve that mission that you talked about?
Yeah, so I think we've had a great relationship with the BII over the last 6 months. So considering our strong dedication to supporting the SMEs, which I just spoke to a few minutes ago, the BII investment has helped the bank significantly. So we currently have 2 line facilities with the BII, one for SMEs and the other for climate finance. And these are two very critical sectors for us, driving economic growth in the country. So we're only 6 months into the facility, but we have already seen great results. The SME line has helped to build our loan book. Notably, the SMEs, for the SMEs, our business loan book has increased by 10%. And this is very significant growth since the start of this relationship with the BII. So we actually have doubled our loan book in several of our SME subsectors and subsegments. And we continue to do this as we go along. I just wanted to give you an example of the impact that we're making with this partnership and with this facility with the BII. So with the assistance of this facility, we were able to provide entrepreneurs with working capital to support with agency banking. So I did mention earlier that we've got 30,000 agents in terms of our agency banking. So agency banking is pretty much our agency booths that we have cut across the country. And they really help us to bank the unbanked, and to be in the far-flung areas where we can't put brick and mortar branches. So what this facility has done for two of our SMEs is we provided them with working capital for them to be able to invest in approximately 20 agency booths. And these are cut across the country, and they're providing jobs. So we've estimated that each booth provides employment for 3 youths. So just with this partnership with the 2 agents that we've supported with the agency network, we provided employment for 60 youth. And this is just an example of the 2 that we've supported. And we've got so many examples of the impact that we've had with the BII with this facility. So the area of focus for us has been significant, and we've focused quite significantly on the SME business. Going to the climate line, I did mention that we have 2 lines. There's the climate line and the SME line. So going to the climate line, so the climate line has been very interesting for us because this is pretty much a fairly new topic in Zambia. With the new government that came into power about 2 years ago, we actually do have now a Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, and we work very closely with the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. So the climate line has been instrumental in supporting the bank's expansion of our green portfolio. And what we've seen is with the recent announcement of our partnership with the BII, we've had a lot of our customers coming in just to ask questions in terms of how they can benefit from the facility. But we have noted some challenges, and what we're trying to do is turn these challenges into opportunities, because we still want to be able to solve for our customers. So there are opportunities that we've noted, and we've interacted quite a bit with our customers just to understand how we can help them and how we can support them. So what we're doing right now is we're working on sessions with our clients to provide them with valuable insights on the criteria for being an environmentally friendly organization. And this has really helped us, because now we're focusing on conducting SMEs capacity building and giving them knowledge on climate change and on practices and projects that they can embark on. So we have an active pipeline in terms of the climate space, and this is being converted, and we have set ourselves internal targets that we're working hard to accomplish as we prioritize this climate change and the fact that we need to deliver in the green portfolio. So our journey towards adopting more environmentally friendly practices continues, and we're greatly appreciative to the value and the contribution that has been made by the BII with this collaboration. And yeah, we continue to look forward to working with the BII team.
Great, thank you very much, Chanda. And I think we'll come back to some of those themes of SME and climate as we talk more. Shashi, I mean, you've founded India's first organic milk company, but I know, looking at your CV, your background is actually in IT. So in 2010, how did you end up founding a milk company?
So thanks, Colin, for the prompt. I think what is happening in India right now, so I was born in a farming family, and my father never wanted me to be a farmer. And it is not a one-off incident in India right now. And everybody in farming, they are getting out of farming and getting into information technology, okay, getting into other areas. So if you ask a question, a smallholder farmer, 2 to 4 acres, my father had 2 acres of land. He never wanted me to be a farmer. So that's exactly how I got into IT industry. My dad wanted me to be there, not that by design I wanted to be an engineer. So this is the status of okay, India right now, especially farming is concerned. We at Akshayakalpa, what's happening is we are trying to actually change that pattern. How my father had a role model engineer in Bangalore. Okay, we are trying to create a role model farmers in each village where we are going. So right now we work with around 1,000 farmers in exactly 1,000 villages, and we have taken their economic position to substantially higher scale, so that entire village can look up to them, okay, and start taking farming positively. If they graduate, we want to have an option, farming as an option, just not a doctor, an engineer, or an accountant. We wanted them to be farmers as well. That's what we are doing in Akshayakalpa, working with smallholder farmers and trying to change the way the farming is perceived in the country right now.
So are you trying to get more people to actually return to farming? You're trying to reverse the kind of advice of your father. I mean, there must be some significant challenges to kind of turning your back on IT and moving into farming. I mean, what have you been doing to assist that kind of remigration?
One of the biggest challenges, Colin, right now in Indian context is economics of a smallholder farmer. It doesn't really add up. In fact, none of the smallholder farmers make money. So that's exactly what it is. What we have demonstrated over last 13 years of our existence is we have proved smallholder farming is profitable. And what has that enabled is the young people who are leaving farming now considering farming very, very positive way within the village ecosystem. So what we have done is we have taken them into a dairy, enabling a regular cash flows. And also we are using the dung coming out of a dairy ecosystem to do a lot of soil-based work. Technically, Akshayakalpa is a farming company. It's not a dairy company. Dairy is one of the interventions. If you go to any of the Akshayakalpa farms, 4 to 5 economic streams, be it backyard poultry, be it banana, be it tender coconut, be it dairy, so be it mushroom growing, be it beekeeping. These are some of the things we have engineered into these farms so that they have got large economic streams, and also very good base for soil management. So this is exactly what it is driving the youngsters to take up farming, because it is sustainable, so it is repeatable, and they're able to see the income month on month. At an average, Akshayakalpa farmer today, they are earning average 100,000 Indian rupees per month. That is substantial money, when compared to what they would have been earning going to cities and towns, being cab drivers, being watchmen, being a lot of things they used to take up earlier.
And Shashi, could you share a few words about how BII has helped you in this effort?
One of the biggest plus points for us in July 2022 when we raised money from BII is the work what we are doing is on two fronts. One is a smallholder farmer making that economically viable. So we want to prove that it is economically viable. Second thing is the amount of work we were doing on soil and trying to climate proof the entire farms. I think not many investment companies understand this kind of work. So while we are a for-profit company, but the work what we were doing was a very, very farming, making farming viable. I think that is one aspect, which enabled substantial money infused into the operations, to develop the market so that more farmers become inclusive. That's the one fundamental part. The second part is we face a lot of issues, especially in the farmer financing. So the BII coming in, and pitching in, hey, you know what? We stand guarantee for some of the loans extended to the farmers. Let us do a pilot on that. So now we have started piloting a lot of farmer loans, backed up by BII guarantees. So that has really enabled us to take our operations to next level, Colin.
Thank you, Shashi. Tosin, let's talk about Moniepoint for a little while. I'm curious, what was the principal driver for that, and why is it growing so quickly?
Thanks. So Moniepoint was set up to help small businesses get access to banking services like payments, credit, access to business tools like bookkeeping and accounting, as well as forex payments. And we actually started business in 2015. But between 2015 and 2019, we're building software solutions, and we pivoted in 2019 into the direction that Moniepoint is building now. And in 2019, we noticed that a lot of small businesses, based on the experiences that we have had building small software solutions for the banks, that a lot of small businesses are really underserved with respect to payments and other banking services. And we launched a payment solution, point of sale payment solution. And it's started growing really fast since then. Initially, we started by serving agents, as in cash in and cash out agents. And we expanded the solution to service regular merchants also. And now all forms of businesses, including regular merchants, agents, and other businesses also. And I think one of the reasons why we've grown really fast is, one, our solutions just hit the right spots with respect to the right mix of the products and the need people had for it. Two, the right pricing mix, that it was also affordable, not cheap, but also affordable for them. Three, we had an excellent distribution method that can actually penetrate to some of these local and deep places in the country that prior to now are not easily accessible. And because of that, the right mix of digital solutions that are being sold locally allowed us to go really, really fast. And right now, businesses just use us like their bank. They accept payments through point of sale devices, or they accept payments through bank transfers and mobile transfers, and they keep their deposits with us. And from there, they can get access to loans, small loans, mostly working capital loans also. And from there, they can also have access to bookkeeping tools. And from there, they can also have access to forex payments. And we think this is also something that's very important, because small businesses make up the majority of GDP of emerging markets, specifically in Nigeria, well over 50%. And we are also currently doing international expansions beyond Nigeria also. So the solution hit the right spots, and the markets rewarded us awesomely, and that's one of the reasons why we've grown really fast.
And someone on your staff described your mission as promoting financial happiness, which I think is a great term, but what does that mean for you, this kind of notion of financial happiness?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it's saying. How can we make people find happiness financially? And I think that, I mean, like, we all, from all kinds of cultures and religion that we all do, we all believe some form of positive feeling is one of the major reasons, one of the major things we should seek while we are alive, from happiness to fulfillment to contentment to peace. We give it all sorts of names, but it's just saying that there's a universal goal for all humans to find positive feelings through our lives. And I think in my time, and in most people's time, we realize that money is an important way to find that happiness. Either we really want to agree or not. I think money actually helps you find a little bit of that happiness. And I think there are some religions that teach you, very hard to reduce your expectations of money, such that a little amount of that money will make you find more happiness, but it's still the same direction. So I thought it was a universal goal. It was noble, and helping people find happiness in life financially is something that is pretty universal and worthy of devoting my life into. I also came about around when I was growing and, experiencing quarter life crisis, and coming into the epiphany that it's important to be liquid such that your life will not be too hard, liquid, hard. So it was clear at that point that I need to find financial happiness for myself, and I should devote my life's work to help other people find it. And the way this has manifested so far is in three sections. One, our customers. Two, our partners. Partners include our employees and our other partners. And three, our stakeholders, shareholders. If we help our customers find financial happiness by helping them get them access to tools that will help their businesses and make them grow, this will in turn make our partners, our employees, and our sales partners really happy financially, and also deliver superior returns, sustainable returns for our stakeholders.
Oh, thanks a lot. That's a noble vision. I guess, as your partner, how have we made you happy?
Oh, yeah. First of all, by giving us money. So that was a clear, obvious way. VII invested pretty early, not too early, but at least quite early in the company. And first of all, the money allowed us to accelerate our growth. BII's part of the reasons why we grew very, very fast in the last years were because of some of the investments that we received from DFIs like BII. So clearly, the obvious direct investments allowed us to be able to accelerate our goals. I think another part also that's important to also mention is the signaling of the British international investment in you is a sign of a sovereign backing an important mission and with their money and their brand. So it allows other DFIs to join us. It allows other government authorities to also listen to us because they see us as well-managed, well-funded, well-backed, and corporate governance and ESG expectations are expected to be there because these are typical terms of investments. And this also means that compliance and all other forms of prudential functions are also expected to be there. So the branding that the BII also brought, that also came with the capital investment in us, has also eased our operations with respect to the quality and the brand that's essentially supporting the organization. Lastly, I've enjoyed working with some of the BII staff. I've enjoyed working so much with them that we've taken a little bit more step in even working with one of BII staff permanently as they joined us, and I'm even working with some of the other people managing our portfolio in the organization, and I enjoy the relationship a lot. I actually even had dinner with one of them 2 days ago. So in addition to finding financial happiness monetarily, brand-wise, I also enjoy the personal relationship with BII.
That's great to hear about. And we always enjoy spending time with all of our partners and all of our investees.
Yeah, thank you.
Chanda, if I could come back to you, I mean, in some of the panel discussions earlier, we heard a lot about what we describe as the macroeconomic headwinds. I mean, here we've got inflation, we have the climate crisis, we've got any number of natural disasters and wars going on. As Zambia's kind of premier bank, how has that influenced Zanaco?
Okay, great. Sorry about that. So I was actually saying that I'll start with talking about the country as a whole and how the climate disaster has affected us. So we've seen a lot of change in this space. So the impact has included a noticeable decrease in the agricultural productivity. We've seen an increase in mortality rate for wild animals. And, for us, tourism and the wildlife tourism is really critical for us and for our economy. So that has been a huge blow. We've seen localized flooding. We've experienced horrible floods, including loss of life, not only in Zambia, but with our neighboring countries in the region, in Malawi, in Mozambique, and in Angola, and this has affected us as well in Zambia. We've seen a potential decline in tourism, and I think we're just trying to get our numbers. And this is post-COVID. So COVID, we saw a really significant decline in tourism, and then came climate. The impact of climate hit us really hard, and we've also seen a decline in that space. Our levels of water in the rivers is also reducing. We've seen a potential risk of the Victoria Falls experiencing reduced water flow. This for us is very significant because the Victoria Falls is one of the natural wonders of the world, one of the 7, and it's a key feature of attracting tourism into the country. So this is something that we can't afford to experience in terms of the reduction in water level. And Zambia, like many other countries, I think we've seen the impact of the various geopolitical and the macroeconomic changes around the world. The ongoing conflict between Russia and the Ukraine has had its impact in Zambia. And what we're seeing is commodity prices have been impacted, particularly cereals and fertilizer. And because we are an agriculture country, so we are our economy is predominantly driven by mining. However, the government has been trying to diversify our economy into agriculture. So that's something that we're very keen on. And so we did see an impact on cereals and in fertilizer. So this situation has presented us both with challenges and with opportunities for the agriculture sector. So for instance, the current grains shortage has presented an opportunity for local farmers to contribute to enhance their production, which is great. Because they can come to us for funding, and through the BII funding, we can give the SMEs who are in agriculture funding to grow and produce more. However, this has also, what has hit them negatively is the price of fertilizer, because now the fertilizer prices have gone up. So that has had a negative impact. So at macroeconomic level, we've also seen the increase of interest rates. So this is making borrowing in the US dollar prohibitive and quite expensive. However, this line of financing from the BII is important, especially for capital project financing. So high global interest rates are also impacting the bank through our third-party lines. And this is hindering the bank from providing low-cost financing to our customers. And this has actually been a national cry, not only by our ministers, but also by our head of state, who is constantly just echoing those sentiments in terms of having to lower the cost of borrowing in the country.
All right, thank you very much. Shashi, maybe to pick up on this kind of theme of climate, because when we think of climate, we often think about climate finance of large renewable projects. But actually, a business like yours, an agricultural business, can also both feel the problems of climate and address them. Could you speak a little bit about how you've been doing that?
I think one example I can give is, Colin, the previous year, generally we receive rains between 500 millimeters to 700 millimeters, per annum in our operational area. It is a plains. So last 2 continuous years, we had rains excess of 1,300 millimeters. So it's a clearly a shift in rain patterns. So that has really impacted some of the agricultural activities, where we are involved in. But in this kind of situations, this is a situation we have to face, and I believe we don't have a direct control over what's happening on this one. But is it possible to prove our farmers? Proof our farming, into these kind of changes, especially dairy, especially production of beekeeping, especially production of banana, especially backyard poultry. All those things can be significantly shielded from some of these activities. I think we, with the right market opportunities, what we have seen is climate issues are inevitable, but the way we do farming, we have to change. So if we don't change, I think probably we'll end up saying that, hey, you know what, climate change has impacted livelihoods. Climate change has impacted the way we do farming. So, for example, the work we do on soil management and trenching and bunding, it has to really change, to suit the current climate issues. we should start creating additional revenue streams for the farmers. Back at poultry, so might give a good 7,000 to 10,000 rupees monthly income, okay, to the farmers, okay, additional income. So dairy, we have taken income levels from 5,000 to 6,000 rupees to close to 100,000 rupees, okay, on a monthly basis. So even let us assume climate is going to hit you, 50% of those revenues, they're still sustainable. So this is exactly what, okay, I believe climate is giving, and climate issues are giving an opportunity to reinvent ourselves to do farming in a better way. The second point is purely from a, okay, market point of view. If we don't make, okay, decisions right now to us to become economically sustainable, one is livelihood. Second thing is economics, okay, when the climate hits you very hard. So therefore, it is very important to sensitize our consumers. Hey, you know, this is what the farming system is going through, okay, and your traditional model of commodity, okay, our traditional understanding of a commodity which you understood has to undergo change. Please come down and spend some time with farmers, understand those issues so that you can put appropriate pressure, okay, create a pressure groups, okay, within your ecosystem, be it your local politician, okay, be it local farmer groups, supporting, let me say, farmers as a group. So these two, we believe we are able to crack, okay, in terms of using this as an opportunity to educating consumers and also ensuring that entire farming ecosystem, the way we do farming, okay, is changing that, Colin.
So that's great, Shashi. I mean, maybe we should move from some of the challenges to some of the solutions. And Tosin, let's talk a bit about Fintech, because, I mean, originally Fintech was thought of as being, you know, the particular purview of Silicon Valley, of New York, London, and Frankfurt. But recently, this type of digital innovation has held a lot of promise in emerging markets for addressing issues of smaller businesses and smaller companies. Can you talk about that, some of the promise that digital innovation holds in our markets?
Yeah. So digital innovation essentially means new solutions that allow us to be able to do things easier, faster, cheaper, oftentimes electronically, right? So, and what this generally leads to is efficiency in doing things. Things that would have taken, you know, a day or two now take minutes and seconds. This leads us to also faster connectivity. It leads to cheaper services and leads to more efficiency, essentially. And what this essentially means for us in the emerging markets is essentially, you know, sustainable growth. That's what it essentially means. It means that instead of, you know, dealing with cash, now there's now prevalent of digital payments. Cash, we all know, is more expensive, and that generally leads to savings that eventually trickles down to the consumers. This means instead of, you know, physically going to see people, now you can make phone calls, you can make FaceTime calls, and this reduces the carbon footprints that would have happened if you were to drive down to see these people. And also, it's certainly generally cheaper paying mobile tariffs than transporting yourself physically. So essentially, the common theme, another one, for example, would be telemedicine. Now you don't actually have to travel to see some specialists. This can be given virtually over the phone, over some internet device. And all this, what this leads to is basically efficiency that generally leads to sustainable growth in the future. And when you have reduced, when you have increased efficiency and reduced waste reduction, and there's waste reduction, what you have generally is savings, so more disposable income to people. This leads to more inclusivity generally because the cost of accessing some of these services goes down. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to get some of these services. It now trickles down to more people in the emerging markets. An example, for example, now is in Africa, you now have low-cost devices. In Nigeria specifically, you have low-cost devices that cost less than $50 that are mobile phones, full-fledged smartphones. And with that, people can get on Facebook, they can get on Instagram, get connected to the global world. And from there, they can learn about information, learn about diseases, learn about their health, improve their lives. From there, they can actually get much more educated, get access to materials that are prior to now only available to Stanford or Harvard graduates. But prior to now, if it wasn't digital, in emerging markets, the only option that they would have had was to physically travel, and many of them would not have the opportunity for such. So digital innovation essentially leads to easier, faster way of doing things, and this leads to inclusivity and leads to a sustainable future. And I am excited to be one of the people pushing digital innovation in mobile payments and in mobile banking. Like I said, the theme of what Moniepoint is doing is giving access to SMEs. If it was classic banking, we will probably not be able to do it because we'll not be able to set up branches in every nook and cranny of the country. But our solutions are also available digitally. And because of that, even the smallest trader can get access to our products and receive payments digitally, get access to credit. So essentially, digital innovation in emerging markets is essentially making the world a global village.
Let me ask you about one particular feature of digital innovation, which is for SMEs. As I understand it, it moves them from the informal sector to the formal sector. And can you explain how that happens? And more importantly, why that's important in countries like yours?
Yeah. So let's give an example of an informal trader that deals in kola nuts. They sell kola nuts in the northern side of Nigeria. And prior to digital solutions like ours, the kola nut seller would have gone to buy kola nuts in bags from the farm and come to the market to sell. And in selling, they accept payments via cash. And when they receive the payments via cash, they make profits from that. They go back home, keep the cash in their room. The next market cycle, they take the cash plus profits, go buy another kola nuts, and comes back to repeat the cycle all over again. Now that's informal economy. But a much more advanced, in a formal economy, such a kola nut trader or such a trader would have been able to have access to a digital payment solution that will allow them to pay for the goods without going physically there, and they'll get those goods delivered to them. And in their stall, customers will come, pay them for the kola nuts that they're selling, receive it in their bank accounts, and they also don't need to leave, essentially leading to more efficiency because you now recover time to do more things, spend with your family, or even have more entrepreneurial endeavors. Now,
financial happiness, right? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Shashi, I wanted to pick up with you. You know, in the last panel, there was a talk about inclusion and a talk about kind of a focus on gender and a focus on the poorer parts of economies. And I'm wondering, I think in your business, you actually touch both of those types of inclusivity. And if you could share a little bit about how you do that.
So I think one of the, in a smallholder farming economy, okay, like India and also the farmers whom we deal with, 80% of the farming work is actually done by women. So, but they never get to make economic decisions on what needs to be done, how the money needs to be spent, okay, how the household is being run. So what we do is around 33% of our farmers, out of 1,000 farmers right now, around 300 plus are women farmers. And what the power it has given to them is, if you really, we have done a lot of surveys with them, amount of savings they are doing in their, okay, households has really gone up. Assets what they have created really gone up. And how the farming is done, okay, is exceptionally better than how the men would do. So what we have seen is enabling them, okay, with, okay, capital, okay, at least whatever the produce, the output, if it is going, okay, to the women farmers, okay, it has substantially, okay, enhanced the way the farming is done and giving the due credit to especially the women farmers. The second part is, okay, as an organization build up over a period of time, what we have realized is we need to really get women into, especially companies like ours, where we work with a lot of agrarian systems. Okay, get people in the back end, we're working with farmers, women into decision-making positions within the organization. So this is one area where, okay, we are really fortunate enough to get a lot of women, okay, into positions where they are making decisions. We have got extension officers working with farmers to be women, the people who are running the plant operations to be women, the people who actually were doing, okay, HR management, administration, everything, okay, being run by women. So this is exactly what we see, okay, an opportunity, okay, working with farmers and enabling women farmers, and similarly, getting the same people coming from the same rural areas, getting into decision-making positions, especially the women.
Great, thank you very much, Shashi. We're coming to the end of our time, but I think we have time for one more very short question to each of our panelists. I'm going to ask you all to take out your crystal balls. And this is the question. Looking ahead 5 years, what type of impact do you think your business is going to have 5 years from now? And if I can start out with Chanda, please.
Okay, so crystal ball right in front of me. That's interesting. So I think Zambia is currently implementing certain requirements as part of its efforts to facilitate progress. And this is evidenced by our debt restructuring program. So we recently restructured our debt of $6.3 billion. And this program pretty much aims to provide financial relief to the country. And it will pretty much allow the country to allocate resources to a number of important sectors in the economy. And I think as private sector, we will definitely benefit from this. I think there's huge opportunity for further partnering, even with the BII, as we focus on particular sectors that will impact growth in the country. So we've also observed that the government is actively prioritizing support for SMEs through a range of interventions. One notable intervention is the youth empowerment, and that's a program that we as Zanaco are fully fledged in terms of supporting the government, and that's something we'll continue to do. 50% of the Zambian population is young, and that's the youth. And I did mention earlier that 90% of the businesses in the country are SMEs. So there's a huge opportunity there for the bank and for further partnering. So investors such as the BII may find it beneficial to consider opportunities in youth empowerment, in green projects in Zambia, because this is critical. Renewable energy in particular holds a great potential in Zambia, especially in light of the past droughts that I spoke about earlier. And these have impacted our hydropower production. So that's critical for us. Additionally, smart agriculture. So climate smart agriculture is quite critical and an area that we would like to partner with for BII to explore potential and further investments. So that's something we are keen on. Technology and science is something that's fairly new in Zambia. I mean, it's something that's of importance with the new government, and we do have a recently formed Ministry of Technology and Science. So that's a space that we're looking to explore. We do know that.
Okay, I'm going to break in there. I think that's a great list for us to work with. So thanks for that. Okay. But let me move to Shashi. Shashi, your prediction.
So what we would like to really see, as I mentioned, the controllable, we would like to really see around 10,000 farmers whom we engage and prove, okay, at a scale that a smallholder farming is viable. So that's what I would like to really focus, okay, next 5 years.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shashi. And finally, Tosin.
In the next 5 years, we would love to be servicing tens of millions of customers. Right now, we only service 1 million. We'd love to be giving them access to payments, credits, banking, business tools, and FX tools across multiple countries.
All right. Thank you very much, Tosin. And thank you to our entire panel. It's always inspiring to hear about the impact that our investees are having in our markets.